When standing on the SK3000 platform, it's somewhat of a surreal experience. Now, with all the hours that I have on mini skid loaders and the fact that we have a SK752, an SK850 Plus, we have an SK1050, we have an SK1550. So I have a lot of experience with ditch witches, the different sizes, and what they have to offer. But the one thing you notice when you're on the platform of the SK3000 is just, it's almost a surreal experience. You feel like you're climbing into a transformer. That's the feeling it gives me. It's very surreal, I'm telling you. When I first drove this around our yard, I was like, man, this is just nuts. Now, the Bobcat that we have for our yard loader, where my back is, there's 5 feet, 5 full feet more of machine. And visibility is compromised as well. And this machine here, that's the first thing you notice. Visibility is great. Your peripheral vision is great, everything. And as far as running into something, it's not going to happen. Now, anybody who's spent any amount of time in a cage skid loader and is honest about it, you know you've ran into some stuff that you couldn't see. I know in all my many years of construction, design, build, you know, there's been some electric boxes that I have to claim. Ran them flat, big ticket. Super easy when you're near a decorative fence. When you have 5 feet behind your back, and that is a lot of machine. With the Ditch Witch SK3000, everything is easy to see. It's right there, clear view. I absolutely love it. The controls were well thought out. They keep on making little tweaks and changes for operator comfort. I really like the fact that the hydraulics, you could run them with your left hand or your right. So they thought about everything. Ditch Witch keeps on improving everything. I love the throttle on this. It's no longer that push button. We know that, you know, those can wear out. We have worn them out. They addressed everything as usual. This new generation of Ditch Witch, it leaves nothing to want. And this one in particular, it's just absolutely crazy what it'll do. Now, I know the paperwork, when you look at the specs on one of these, it's going to tell you that it lifts 3,100 pounds. But I'm here to tell you, that's just a manufacturer covering themselves. They know that if you're just picking up 3,100 pounds with this machine, there's going to be zero liability. Now, once you get comfortable with this machine and you have time on a Ditch Witch platform machine, very comfortable, you know your balance, you know the machine well, and you know how to carry heavy. This machine has no problem lifting over 4,000 pounds, about 4,400 pounds, that safely. Now, pound for pound, there is no cage skid loader that can do that. What this machine weighs what a small caged skid steer weighs. But yet it has the lifting capability of a giant machine that weighs, you know, another 2,500 pounds. Now, this machine only puts 5.8 PSI to the ground. That's pretty good. I mean, it's carrying its weight very well. It's displaced over the track. I mean, just to give you an idea of just how big this machine really is, you know, I'm 6'1", 240 pounds. I think this machine makes me look small. And, you know, our other Ditch Witches, when I climb on them, you know, they do feel small, and they are, you know, small in comparison. This thing is so ridiculous. There's so much room here. You know, and again, I'm, you know, I think on the bigger side of an operator, 240 pounds, 6'1". I mean, this machine is extremely comfortable. It rides and floats like it's on a cloud. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So now I'm going to take you guys out in the field, and I want you to see what this machine can actually lift. And we're going to use it in a real world environment. Now, everybody knows how much trees weigh. If you're a contractor and you're one of those guys where you're chasing a buck, you can't turn down a job. I mean, I was like that for years. Obviously now I kind of keep to some specialty areas, but when it comes to dropping trees, we all know what a tree trunk weighs. And I'm going to show you a video of this machine handling tree trunks that are so big, they're about as big as the machine itself. And again, contractors know how much trees weigh. That is another thing that's just so hard to even estimate how many pounds you're lifting. You just know that if the tree's over a couple of feet in diameter, that is a crazy heavy tree trunk. So how about if we go try to lift something that's more like 6 feet in diameter? Let's go out in the field and take a look. Notice how stable the machine is. It picked up this tree trunk. Look at that. So the operator grabbed it and backed up. It was easier to do that. But obviously with all that weight sticking out, that machine was not tipping. This is a massive, massive trunk to a tree. Look how stable that machine is. Look how high this machine will raise up the hinge pin height. Look at that. It's beautiful. You know, the side of that truck, and that's a tall truck. You know, you can see it has the full bed over the large dualies. That's a serious piece of equipment. Also, pay attention to how this machine goes under the bed of these trucks, whether it's a flatbed, whether it's a dump body. When you have a large truck and you're loading and you're up near the side of it, the nose of this machine by design, it'll go up and it'll go under. So as he raises the tree trunk, look at this machine. He can tuck the nose of that machine right under the bed of that truck. Isn't that something? Now try doing that with your caged skid loader, because it doesn't work. The cage just hits, and that's as far as you can go. Look at the size of this tree trunk. Look at that. Now that's a small operator, so there's no counterbalance to speak of. Look at the size of that. That is just impressive. The weight of a tree trunk that size. Now watch how the nose goes underneath. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is well thought out, well designed, and it handled it with no problem. The operator has so much room. There's so much comfort, and the machine is so stable. It handles this giant tree. You know, look how big the trunk size is. Like it's nothing. You know, again, it's so nice you can tuck that nose right underneath a dump truck or a flatbed. Super easy to unload and load. Look at all the room the operator has. I mean, look at that. Beautiful. The comfort, the machine just so stable. Look at that. Look at that trunk is as big as the skid loader itself, yet the skid loader is so stable. Look at the nose going underneath that truck. Beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely love the design of this SK3000. And when it comes to a full-size skid loader, this outperforms the caged skid loaders in more than just lifting capability. As you can see, loading and unloading, it is going to allow you to do things that a caged skid loader will not. I mean, that is just beautiful. How the wedge-shaped front end of the SK3000 can just go right underneath a truck. This truck's getting pretty full. Didn't take but a few pieces of that tree trunk to fill it. And the SK3000 handles it like it's nothing. My review is this machine is more stable, more secure than any other skid loader that I've ever owned. The cage skid loaders, they tip back and forth. Maybe it has something to do with all the weight. You know, it has a lot of weight. You have the cage around you, the machine. There's a lot of metal that's at a higher height. This machine, with all its weight, So close to the ground, is so secure, so sturdy. You can see how this machine, it's not tippy at all. This machine handles this giant tree, this massive, massive tree. It just handles it effortlessly. Now check that out. Look at that, how the nose goes underneath the back of that dump truck. That is sweet. And that is definitely just one of the many benefits that the SK3000 has to offer.